From our Center for the Arts studio, this is Good Afternoon Ashland. I'm Elena Ross.
And I'm Will Taylor. Thanks for tuning in.
On Friday, February 21st, an Ashland University student fell from a fourth-floor window in Clark Hall. Safety Services reports that the student sustained non-life-threatening injuries, was awake, and was responsive to first responders' questions. The student was then taken to the hospital, where they received treatment and has been recovering since.
AU's Coburn Art Gallery will host an event titled Explore Color and Pastels on March 28th. The event is for children ages 7 to 12 and will guide them through making vivid and bold landscapes with oil pastels. They'll also learn about famous oil-based artists such as Andre Derain and Henri Matisse and how they chose to represent the world with bright and bold colors. The event will run from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. with a fee of $5 per child. Impoverished towns are often the sites of where some of the best coffee beans grow. The coffee is rich, but the community is not. A father and son duo who have recently opened a coffee shop in downtown Ashland with an emphasis on changing that. Our own Brooke Young has the story.
Goldberry Roasting Company, founded by father and son duo, Pete and Doug Cooper, has recently opened a storefront in Ashland, Ohio. Not only does this coffee taste good, it's also good for the community. Goldberry's sister company, Coffee Growing Community, seeks to help those in struggling coffee growing regions live a successful life.
The idea when Goldberry was first started was that we would buy coffee from struggling coffee farmers in villages around the world, pay them a fair wage for their coffee, so it's helping them. We're getting good coffee, we're selling it, everybody's making money. So my dad got hooked up with somebody from a town in Mexico called Chicontla. It's a small village in the mountains of Mexico.
A character from The Lord of the Rings inspired the philanthropic mission of Goldsberry. The character, Goldsberry, helped the hobbits on their journey. And now, Goldsberry Roasting Company is committed to helping in our local community and throughout the world.
So she represents warmth, hospitality, healing, all these things that we wanted the company to represent, not only in Chicontla and in Mexico where we work, but also in our community here in Ashland.
Okay.
For more information, you can check out Goldberry Roasting Company on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Or you can come visit their storefront for yourself. For AUTV 20, I'm Brooke Young.
The Goldberry Roasting Company is located at 1310 Claremont Avenue and is open on weekdays from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m.
We are going to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned to hear about how one vitamin may help solve your seasonal depression.
And later on, our sports team will update you on the week in sports. Stay with us.
.9 WRDL FM, Ashland University's very own student-run radio station. We play more music, more you with today's music, today's hits. Catch WRDL's Early Bird's Word Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m., covering Ashland University and Ashland County with local and national news. If Ashland sports is what you're looking for, look no further than 88.9 WRDL. 88.9 WRDL, more music, more you.
Welcome back to Good Afternoon Ashland. An Ashland woman claims her 78-year-old mother was tied to a wheelchair for hours at the Kingston nursing home in a case of elder abuse. Kayla Brummage filed a police report on February 20th saying that a resistance band used for therapy was wrapped around her grandmother's legs, strapping her to the wheelchair. The Kingston administrator has since denied that the incident took place. Brummage and the family are planning to move her grandmother to another care facility as soon as possible.
2 Shelby residents have secured flights back to America after having been in quarantine in China for the past 14 days. Demarie Alonzo and her 15-year-old son traveled to Shandong, China last August. Alonzo took a job teaching English shortly after arriving in China and has stayed ever since. When the outbreak began to spread into the province of Shandong, the city was placed into a quarantine. Alonzo and her son have been working with American officials and has now been granted a flight back home. With winter in full effect, many Ohioans face the dreadful case of seasonal depression. Doctors are saying that with supplementing vitamin D may just be the answer to this common problem. Samantha Didion has a story.
Vitamin D is what we naturally produce from the sun, but doctors say that here in Northeast Ohio, we still aren't getting enough of it, and most of us are deficient.
Here in Ohio, we all know the sun can be hard to come by, and lack of it can affect our daily lives.
You know, it's gray, and a lot of times that affects your personality, so your personality is gray.
But when the sun does come out, it makes a huge difference.
Oh God, you feel so happy and refreshed and rejuvenated. You want to be out in the sun.
And there's a reason for that. Vitamin D, or the sunshine vitamin, is what we produce when we are out in the sun, and it helps our bodies in more ways than one.
You have better bone function, better brain function, and hopefully prevent cardiovascular disease, brain dysfunction, and enhance your immunity.
You may think in the summer we're getting enough sun, but doctors say not so fast.
60 to 90% of us that live in this part of the country are going to be deficient.
Dr. Roy Brzezinski of University Hospital says you could be deficient if you're feeling moody, anxious, have muscle cramps, or are extremely fatigued. You may want to get a blood test to check your levels.
I have seen patients that have come in here with low vitamin Ds. I'm talking about in the single digits, 8, 9, sometimes 12, 13. You put them on either a 50,000 unit supplement or you put them on 2,000-3,000 a day, and a few weeks later it's like, oh my gosh, my muscle aches have gone away, I feel more energy.
A simple fix that could help create a brighter, healthier future.
It just brings you up. Just, you know, you're a little more up.
For AUTV 20, I'm Samantha Didion.
Vitamin D can be bought at almost every local grocery or drugstore.
We are going to take a quick commercial break, but when we return, we will send you on over to the sports desk.
We will be right back with more Good Afternoon Ashland.
For over 100 years, Ashland University has helped form and encourage its students' passions and purposes. We have created a unique, personalized, and transformative learning experience where students graduate not only well prepared for their careers, but also as well-rounded global citizens, ready to make a difference in their communities. Visit us at AU, where the accent is on you.
The Ashbrook Center seeks to restore and strengthen the capacities of the American people for constitutional self-government. Our students learn why America is worthy of their study and love, and they become better equipped to take a leading role in their country's civic life. The Ashbrook Center, deepening the way history and civics are taught nationwide, renewing America's purpose and promise.
Good afternoon, Ashland, and welcome to your sports update. I'm Nico Scarlatus.
And I'm Louis Markham. Thanks for tuning in.
Esports is still relatively new here at AU, but they are already making huge strides in their short time. AUTV 20's Evan Laux has the story.
In its second year on campus, Ashland University's esports team has seen success at both the regional and national level. A month ago, two Eagle squads finished 17th and 22nd in the nation in the Collegiate Star League Fortnite Championship. Flash forward to now, the Eagle Counter-Strike team has earned the #1 seed in the Northeast Conference regular season leading up to playoffs.
We decided to buckle down on practice, make sure everyone's doing the correct thing, and we just really pretty much put in a lot of work and tried super hard this semester to do good.
Counter-Strike Global Offensive, one of 5 video games played within the Ashland University esports program, is a competitive first-person shooter where 2 teams of 5 are tasked with eliminating the other while also completing separate objectives.
And I think our team, we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of people on the team who just, they put in a lot of work individually. They've been playing for a long time. And now this season's been a lot about getting us to play as a team, getting us coordinated, getting us to work on the small things in our gameplay that'll separate us from the other top teams.
Honestly, it's such a mechanically skilled game. Like, there's a lot to learn and know knowledgeable too. Like Hearthstone, for example, there's not much mechanical skill in the game. It's just all knowledge. Counter-Strike, you have to have like a high mechanical skill and a high knowledge to like be good at the game.
Toughest aspect, I definitely think it's the mental game. It's because it's such a high risk, high reward sometimes, especially the way I play. I'm a very risky, kind of like to take aggressive angles and stuff like that. And when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's really risky, and playing that mental game of like the risk you should take, it shouldn't take.
The Eagles will compete in a 54-team field over the next few weeks, with a concrete schedule unavailable at the moment.
So not knowing who we play means that we basically have to find out maybe a day or two ahead of time and then actively start scouting and preparing for that team in particular with very little notice. So collegiate esports not quite on the same level of organization and forward planning as traditional sports, which is in some ways a really good experience for our students because it teaches them to be adaptable and to just be prepared to handle whatever situation comes at them.
Like, honestly, I'm always one of those guys who has the high hopes. I think we can win it all. And that's always been my expectation, is to win. But, I'd be satisfied with a top 8 or a top 4 finish.
For AUTV 20, Evan Laux.
For the third time this season, Ashland University junior Trevor Bassett is the National Athlete of the Week. This award comes from the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association of the NCAA Division II. This honor was announced by the morning of Tuesday, March 3rd. Bassett's performances during the 2020 GLIAC Championships is what earned this award. On Sunday, March 1st, he was named Men's GLIAC Track Athlete of the Meet and Year, along with being the Men's High Point Athlete of the Meet. In the men's 200-meter dash, his time of 20.80 seconds was not only a new school record, but the third fastest time in NCAA Division II indoor history. On top of that, Bassett won the conference championships in the 60-meter hurdles, 400-meter dash, and the 4x4 100-meter relay team. Next up for Eagles track team is Nationals in Birmingham, Alabama. The meet will start on March 13th and continue into March 14th. AUTV 20's Paul Murray sat down with tennis player Stuart Burdica to get the inside scoop on how this freshman is quickly rising to the top.
Here we go, AU! Stuart Bridka was born to play tennis. By the time he turned 8 years old, his whole family was involved in the game. From his parents playing recreationally to his sisters competing in school.
My dad is who got me into playing. So my sister, my oldest sister, she's 24. She played tennis at Wright State University down in Dayton, and she's now coaching at Arizona Christian University. And then my other sister, she's a senior here at AU, and she's on the women's team as well. So I didn't want to feel left out, so I had to join the family playing tennis.
Bridka was a standout player in high school and continued his dominance at the collegiate level, winning GLIAC Freshman of the Year. But Bridka gives his credit not to his racket, but to his mind.
Everybody can hit the ball. Everybody knows where to hit the ball. Their strokes are the same, their levels are the same, their fitness is most likely the same, but what separates them is the mental aspect and the toughness, and just grinding out the points, right? Knowing what to do with the ball. There's a completely different, there's such a difference between knowing how to play tennis and knowing how to win.
He's one of those kids that will try to win in practice. Like, he's trying to win the drills, he's trying to win everything, which I love. You, as a coach, you love someone who has that kind of competitive spirit.
As for me personally, I'm just looking to put points up for my team. The cool thing about tennis is it's a team sport, but it's also very individual. So although you might lose a match, you'd be able to win individually. And that's what it's all about as far as getting that point, having the mindset to be successful for your team.
Paul Murray, AUTV 20.
We are going to take a quick commercial break, but stick around to hear about the highlights of this weekend's regional wrestling tournament.
And we'll get an inside look at our women's basketball team coming up next.
center for the Art Studio, this is your AUTV 20 Sports Break.
It's more than a college TV station. It's award-winning, student-made content.
It's the latest news in sports.
It's talking to campus.
It's reaching out into the community.
It's real-world experience.
It's AUTV 20.
Ashland University's number 10 ranked wrestling team will be sending 7 athletes to the national championship after a successful regional competition. The highlights from the NCAA Division II Super Regional meet that took place on Saturday, February 29th in Indianapolis came from redshirt senior Brett Romanzak and junior Aiden Pasuk. Both claimed regional titles at 174 pounds and 184 pounds. AU finished third as a team at the regional tournament as the Eagles finished with 121.5 team points. The Eagles will compete at the NCAA Division II Championships on March 13th and 14th in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The undefeated women's basketball team is gearing up to end their season strong. AUTV 20 Shantae Rutherford talked with the team.
After last year's first-round elimination, the Ashland University women's basketball team are ready to redeem themselves. This year, the team is currently undefeated, and they hope to keep it that way. Their goal for the tournament is simple: to win the championship title. Head coach Carrie Pickens shared her thoughts about the current season.
We've had a really fun season this year. I think a big part of that is how well our seniors have led this team. They've led with a lot of love, with a lot of enthusiasm, with hard work, with a lot of communication. They've done all of the little things well, which has allowed us to be able to have the season that we've had so far. We obviously are looking to make quite a bit more of a push come tournament time, but it's been a really fun journey up to this point.
Students from the team also shared memories that they've gained along the way.
I love it. There's nothing like it. The culture and just the team, nothing matches to it. I've been on, when I was during the recruiting process, I went on other visits, and nothing feels like home like Ashland does. It's truly a great opportunity.
Just getting used to the culture here. I transferred here, so this is my first year, and just making friends with everybody on the team, and just seeing how we roll.
I'd say I've just grown in general, like on the court and off, growing as a person in my faith and then in relationships with my best friends on the team.
In every way possible. I think that they've done such a good job of setting the platform for younger ones, even the freshmen that get here. From the start that I was here, I knew that they were the upcoming seniors the next year. And their leadership and their voice and just the positive energy that they bring every day in practice and games, it shows what a true leader is, and it shows as to why we are so successful.
I've been able to realize how important relationships are throughout your life, and also I've been able to grow in my faith within this culture, so just taking those away and growing in those each and every day.
I think just the discipline of playing college basketball and then just taking that in life, being disciplined in life, and also what Jody says, like being able to grow in my faith here. There's so many opportunities here and great influences around you.
I've learned just the power of community. I think just having like teammates around you that support you and love you, and then also just having a lot of fans, but also at the end of the day knowing that you're so much more than just a basketball player.
I think the most important thing is just loving each other, loving this community, where you're at right now in life, just loving everybody.
The support of the community has made a great impact on the organization, especially Pickens herself.
The community support this year has been absolutely amazing. It's made the experience that these girls have been able to have 10 times more than I could ever hope for, just because when you come here, you're playing for something bigger than yourself. You're playing to be a light to this community, and we wouldn't be able to do that if they weren't so supportive and bought into what we're trying to do. So just kudos to them and thank this community for everything that they've given to us.
Shantae Rutherford, AUTV 20.
All right, guys, now that you're caught up on sports, we'll send you back over to Elena and Will. Thanks for watching. I'm Louis Markham.
And I'm Nico Scarlatus. See you next time.
That's it for this edition of Good Afternoon Ashland. We hope you enjoyed. And don't forget to follow us across social media at AUTV20.
Tune in every weekday mornings from 7 to 9 to the Early Birds Word on 88.9 WRDL.
And pick up a copy of the student newspaper The Collegian across campus, or visit them online at au-live.com.
Thanks to our crew and everyone behind the scenes here at AUTV 20. I'm Will Taylor.
And I'm Elena Ross. Thanks for watching.